Hey, it's Surfing Victorian report, Wednesday, the 22nd of July, 2026. G'day everyone and welcome back to Hey, it's Surfing. Well, today marks the start of a change across Victoria. The clean run we've enjoyed over the past few days is coming to an end as a cold front pushes across Bass Strait. That means we're trading cleaner conditions for more swell, stronger winds, and a much more energetic ocean through the second half of today and into Thursday. If you're planning to surf today, timing will be everything. Let's take a look around the state. Statewide overview. The Bureau of Meteorology has issued a strong wind warning for the Central Coast today as the front moves through. Early this morning, northwesterly winds are blowing between 15 to 25 knots before swinging westerly through the late morning and strengthening into the afternoon. Offshore, we're seeing a west to southwesterly swell building from around 1.5 metres to 2.5 metres, with seas increasing to around 1.5 metres to 2.5 metres as the day progresses. Not much of an increase there. Maybe add half a metre. Showers are expected through the day with a chance of small hail later this evening once the colder air moves in. The key message today is simple. The morning offers the cleaner conditions. By this afternoon, the swell will be larger, but so will the wind. Let's start on the surf coast as we always do. This is once again shaping as the standout region today. Early this morning, Bells, Winky Pop and the surrounding reefs should still be enjoying clean northwesterly winds before that change pushes through. Wave heights are expected to build during the day. Early this morning, expect Torquay Point around 2 foot, Bells Beach around 3 to 4 foot, Winky Pop 3 to 5 foot. The reefs west of Bells 4 to 6 feet. Becoming larger this afternoon as the swell arrives. Swell direction remains west to southwest, and while today's wave heights are partly modelled rather than directly observed, the increase in trend is well supported by both the Bureau forecast and the regional surf guidance. The best window is definitely sunrise through about 10 o'clock before the westerly change arrives. Once the wind swings west, the protected Torquay reefs will continue to offer suitable conditions, but the more exposed reefs will become much lumpier. Today's hazards include strong sweep around Bells, slippery reef entries, and rapidly changing conditions once the front reaches the coast. Surf coast roading, 8 out of 10 early, dropping back to around 6 out of 10 this afternoon. Over on the Mornington Peninsula, today is a completely different story. The exposed beaches should start reasonably clean under the northwesterly breeze, but conditions are expected to deteriorate quickly once the wind swings west. Early this morning, expect Gunamatta around 3 to 4 feet, St Andrews 3 to 5 feet, Ryback Beach 3 to 4 feet, Portsea Back Beach 4 to 6 feet. By late afternoon, the new swell should begin filling in, but the stronger westerly wind will also produce significant bump and longshore sweep. The best opportunity is definitely early morning before the change. Today's falling morning tide should expose some better defined banks, although it will also strengthen the rips through the gutters. The biggest hazards today are rapidly deteriorating surface conditions, strong lateral currents and larger cleanup sets arriving as the new swell builds. Mornington Peninsula rating is a 6.5 out of 10 early, falling to around about 4 out of 10 later today. Phillip Island follows a similar pattern. Cape Woolamai should produce clean surf first thing this morning around 3 to 5 feet, with Forest Caves around 2 to 4 feet, and Smith's Beach generally 2 to 3 feet. Bass Coast beaches around Kilcunda should carry a little more size throughout the day, and unfortunately the afternoon westerly will affect quality across nearly every exposed beach. Like Mornington, the best session is from first light until mid-morning, and Western Port experiences a significant tidal range today, so expect stronger currents around entrances and channels through the afternoon, with the main hazards remaining deep gutters, lateral sweep and rapidly increasing swell during the second half of the day. Phillip Island and Bass Coast rate is 6.5 out of 10 this morning, dropping during the afternoon. Further east Gippsland remains smaller overall. The Bureau is forecasting western or westerly winds becoming westerly through the day, with the front reaching eastern Victoria later than the surf coast. And around Lake's entrance, expect 1 to 2 feet, with 90 Mile Beach should be offering 2 to 3 feet, while Cape Conarin and the far eastern beaches could see 3 to 4 feet later today as fresh swell arrives. The cleanest conditions should be through the morning before the stronger westerly winds spread across Gippsland, and ocean bars and entrances remain hazardous despite the relatively modest surf. East Gippsland rating is a 5.5 out of 10. Today's tides continue to favour an early surf across much of Victoria, with the surf coast, Mornington Peninsula and Phillip Island all moving through a lower morning tide before filling again this afternoon. That lower tide should sharpen reef waves and expose sandbanks, but it also increases the risk of shallow takeoff and exposed reef. As the afternoon tide builds, expect stronger currents around entrances, reefs and channels. And the biggest hazards today isn't simply wave height. That's how quickly conditions are expected to change once the front arrives. If you're already in the water, when the wind swings west, expect a noticeable increase in chop, current and paddle effort. Tomorrow is looking much larger. The Bureau forecasts westerly winds around 25 to 35 knots, seas increasing to 2 to 3 metres, and west to southwest swell continuing to build through the day. Thursday is likely to produce the biggest surf of the week, but unfortunately the strong westerly wind means much of the Mornington Peninsula, Phillip Island and the Bass Coast will be heavily wind affected, whereas the surf coast should once again become the standout, with Bells, Winky Pop and the protected Torquay reefs offering the best quality once the swells peak. And looking forward toward Friday and the weekend, confidence becomes lower. Current guidance suggests the swell will gradually ease while a ridge of high pressure builds behind the front. If the wind trends back towards the northwest, quality should steadily improve across the exposed beaches. So if you're heading out today, go early. The surf coast is comfortably the best option before the front arrives, with clean reefs and building swell. Mornington Peninsula and Phillip Island will offer fun surf first thing, but expect conditions to deteriorate quickly through the afternoon. So if you're happy to wait, Thursday brings the size, while Friday could bring the quality back as the wind begins to settle. Thanks again for watching Hey It's Surfing. Have a great day, stay safe around the changing conditions, and I'll see you tomorrow morning with another Victorian surf report. Phew.